The words hit the crowded ballroom like a silent explosion. Everyone froze. The CEO of one of the largest companies in the city stood beneath the crystal chandeliers, her face pale but determined. Then she turned toward the most unlikely person in the room, a janitor pushing a cleaning cart near the entrance. "Pretend you kiss me for 7 minutes." For a moment, nobody breathed. Executives stared in disbelief. Investors exchanged confused glances. Reporters lowered their cameras. The request sounded impossible, absurd, and completely out of place at an elegant daytime charity event attended by the city's wealthiest people. But what happened next would leave every person there speechless. The janitor's name was Rowan Mercer. At 38 years old, Rowan had learned long ago that life rarely gave second chances. He worked long hours cleaning office buildings, schools, and event halls throughout the city. Every morning before sunrise, he prepared breakfast for his 8-year-old daughter, Nova, braided her hair as best he could, and walked her to school before beginning his shift. 3 years earlier, Rowan's wife had passed away after a sudden illness. Since then, he had become mother and father at the same time. Money was always tight. Sleep was a luxury. Hope often felt distant. Yet somehow, he never stopped smiling for his daughter. Nova was the center of his world. She never complained about their tiny apartment. She never complained when he worked weekends. Instead, she would leave small handwritten notes in his lunch bag telling him he was the best dad in the world. Those notes kept him going on the hardest days. The CEO standing across the ballroom was Serena Vale. At 34, Serena had built a business empire that magazines described as unstoppable. Her company employed thousands. Her success story appeared everywhere. But the public only saw the polished image. They didn't see the loneliness. They didn't see the pressure. They didn't see the endless expectations placed upon her shoulders. That morning, Serena had attended the charity gala with her wealthy fiancé, Victor Harlan, a man admired by investors and social circles alike. To everyone else, they appeared perfect. Until Serena discovered something that shattered everything. Minutes before the event began, she accidentally overheard Victor speaking privately with another investor. Hidden behind a decorative wall, she listened as he laughed about their engagement. He wasn't marrying her for love. He was marrying her for access. For influence. For money. Every promise had been a performance. Every affectionate gesture had been a calculated move. Her heart broke instantly. Yet thousands of guests were already arriving. The media was present. Backing out publicly would create chaos. Then Victor spotted her. The cold look in his eyes told her he knew she had heard everything. And suddenly she realized something terrifying. If she stayed silent, he would control the narrative. If she exposed him, he would twist the story. She needed a way to break free immediately. That was when her eyes landed on Rowan. The janitor. The invisible man nobody noticed. The man who had spent the entire morning helping elderly guests find seats and quietly assisting staff members without expecting recognition. Serena remembered seeing him earlier comforting a nervous young volunteer who had accidentally spilled coffee. His kindness had stood out. And in a room full of powerful people, he seemed like the only genuinely honest person. So she walked directly toward him. Then came the shocking request. The ballroom waited. Victor's face darkened. Everyone expected Rowan to panic. Instead, he looked directly at Serena. And then he did something nobody anticipated. He gently removed his work gloves. He stepped forward. Then he quietly placed his suit jacket around Serena's shoulders. The room fell completely silent. Without touching her romantically, without creating a spectacle, Rowan understood something deeper was happening. He saw fear in her eyes. He saw desperation. He saw someone asking for help. For the next 7 minutes, Rowan stood beside Serena with quiet confidence while cameras flashed endlessly. They spoke softly. No one else could hear. The crowd assumed they were sharing an intimate moment. But in reality, Rowan was simply helping her remain calm. When the 7 minutes ended, Serena walked to the stage. Her voice trembled at first, then grew stronger. In front of everyone, she ended her engagement. She revealed the truth. The ballroom erupted with shock. Victor attempted to defend himself, but several people had already witnessed enough of his behavior to recognize the truth. His carefully constructed image collapsed before their eyes. For the first time in years, Serena felt free. The event ended in chaos. Yet one image dominated every news outlet the following day. Not Serena. Not Victor. Rowan. The janitor who had protected a stranger without asking questions. The story spread across social media. People wanted to know who he was. They expected some hidden celebrity. Instead, they discovered a hard-working single father struggling to make ends meet. Donations began appearing. Job offers arrived. Interview requests flooded in. But Rowan declined most of them. His focus remained Nova. One afternoon, Serena appeared unexpectedly at the elementary school pickup area. She wasn't there as a CEO. She wasn't there with photographers. She simply wanted to thank him. As weeks passed, their paths crossed again and again. Not through luxury events. Not through corporate meetings. Through ordinary life. School fundraisers. Community projects. Charity programs. Serena grew close to Nova, who quickly discovered that beneath the powerful executive was a woman who loved drawing cartoons and eating ice cream after difficult days. For the first time in years, Serena found herself laughing naturally. For the first time in years, Rowan allowed himself to imagine a future beyond survival. Months later, Serena launched a foundation supporting widowed parents struggling to raise children alone. Instead of hiring celebrities as ambassadors, she chose Rowan. Not because of one viral moment, but because he represented something the world desperately needed. Compassion without recognition. Kindness without reward. Strength without ego. The foundation changed thousands of lives. Families received housing support. Children gained educational opportunities. Parents found hope. And every speech Rowan delivered carried the same message. The strongest people are not those who never struggle. They are the ones who keep choosing kindness while struggling. The audience always applauded. But Rowan knew the truth. The real hero was a little girl named Nova who had taught him never to stop believing in people. Years later, during another bright daytime charity event, Rowan stood on stage beside Serena as they celebrated helping their 10,000th family. The crowd cheered. Nova, now older, watched proudly from the front row. Rowan glanced at Serena. Serena glanced back. Neither needed words. Their journey had started with 7 unbelievable minutes. 7 minutes that were never about romance. 7 minutes that revealed character. 7 minutes that changed countless lives forever. Before we finish the story, tell us in the comments, have you ever experienced a moment when a complete stranger changed your life with a simple act of kindness? And if this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Love and Destiny. Your support helps bring more inspiring stories to people who need hope. Because sometimes destiny does not arrive through power, wealth, or status. Sometimes it arrives disguised as an ordinary person doing an extraordinary thing. And those are the moments that change the world forever.